of the Great Resignation. And I don't feel one bit sorry about it. Okay, maybe 5%. I do miss my students. However, we do know right now we are going through this real big cultural shift in education called the Great Resignation. And a lot of people are deciding to leave their jobs in education, me being one of them. So I wanted to talk about the three main reasons why I left my job and what are some things that are going to be next steps for me as I move on with my career path. So I resigned from my school counseling position a little less than a month ago. Again, I resigned for several reasons, but again, I broke them down into three main reasons that I did decide to resign. And the first one was administration. So I can't even get into the details of what happened with administration, but particularly with the school principals. At both the places I was at, I ended up at one school at the beginning of the school year. I'd been in that place for 4 years. We had a change in administrators, and okay, I get it. People have to move on. I was actually happy about the change, new leadership, cool. And it just did not, me and that principal bumped heads. And so I got the opportunity to transfer. So I did transfer. And then that administrator, it started off cool at first, but then that person just really got controlling, wanted me to do the job the way they exactly wanted it done. And it just didn't seem like that person really knew what the role of a school counselor was supposed to do. And in me trying to educate, I came off as presumptuous. I was called, quote, a know-it-all, so forth. And I just thought, look, I don't make enough money for me to be dealing with crazy leadership. I can take leadership, I can take critiques, I can learn from it, but it was not worth me coming in being stressed and then also trying to pick up and do somebody else's job. Me transferring in, I was picking up somebody else's work. And no, deuces. I ain't got time for it. Thanks for the opportunity, but I'm cool. All right. The second reason that I ended up moving on from my position is that I knew that after 3 years of being a school counselor at my one site, I wanted to expand my reach. Like, I felt like, I know it had only been 3 years, but it felt like I had learned a lot, especially because I was at a tier 3 school. We had a lot of things going on, high trauma, just a lot of behavior challenges, social emotional challenges, foster students in transition. Like, I learned a lot in a short amount of time. And I even learned a lot about, working with a team or building a team in order to combat a lot of those social emotional challenges. And I wanted to share that information with, other people. So I thought that, and I laugh now, but I thought that, going in my very first year, when I got hired on as a school counselor, I had told my husband, I want to one day be the director of school counseling. Dead serious. And so after year 3, like I said, I, finally got out the guts to tell my boss, not in a way of, oh, I want to take your job, but just letting them know, like, hey, I'm interested in possibly taking this position one day. Please give me some leadership opportunities so that I will be ready once, you're ready to let go of this position or ready to move on to whatever else. Well, that opportunity came sooner than I thought. That next year, my director of counseling did move on to another job, and so his position was up for grabs. And I just so happened to be able to interview. It was kind of like I knew it really wasn't supposed to happen. I knew they already had somebody else picked because it was only like 3 days in which it was posted, and they were supposed to pick somebody. So I was like, okay, I already know they got somebody in mind, but let me just go ahead and apply and let them know how serious I am. And let me tell y'all, it was the funniest interview. Maybe not for the people that was interviewing me, but I felt super nervous because, as you can see, I do look very young. I am under 30. So I feel like I had that going against me. They had me sit in this big old, like, office chair, and my feet was dangling. I was just like, man, like, I'm already feeling like I'm 12, and my feet dangling in the seat is not helping me whatsoever. But like I said, I only had like 24 hours to prepare, and not even a full 24 hours, I believe. So I tried to stay up till 4 in the morning, getting like information together, just showing that, hey, these are the job responsibilities that are outlined, and this is what I would do if I was director, and blah, blah, blah. Obviously, did not get the job. And I'm not mad about it, because I actually loved who ended up getting the position. But I was just kind of like, dang, okay, well, what do I do to expand my knowledge, expand my reach? Because I've learned, all of these things. So the next opportunity that I thought about was possibly being some type of SEL coach. Like, how we have instructional coaches, and they help teachers with their academics and data and blah, blah, blah. Well, I wanted to do that as far as, social emotional supports or interventions. And I feel like this was something I was already doing in my role as a school counselor. And I knew that in some other states and in some other districts, they were doing this. They actually have SEL coaches. But I just know that we as a district wasn't ready for that quite yet. I mean, we don't even have the position posted. I feel like later on down in the years that they'll have it posted, but just in the moment, no. So I just remember one summer, we have this big training thing called Summer Institute, and we have people come, and of course they give PD, and these are people that are flown out and this, that, and the third. I remember my principal saying to me, hey, that there's people, they're making like $5,000, $10,000 just for like one engagement. And I'm just like, shoot, well, I need to do that. Like, I've spent so much time throughout the school year providing PD to the teachers. I mean, and this is free. I'm not getting paid for this extra stuff or education that I'm giving to other people. Yet there's other people out there that are. So I'm just like, let me look into this. And that just kind of took me on a whole nother journey. So I connected with some other counselors, one through Facebook groups. Facebook groups are so much more helpful than they were when Facebook first started. Like, Facebook groups used to be crazy. But now, like I said, there was a Facebook group. I'm a part of, like, Elementary School Counselor Exchange, and then the other one's Professional School Counselors of Color. I'm pretty sure there's several other school counselor groups, but these were really helpful for me. And I connected with some ladies through there, as well as on Clubhouse, and this when Clubhouse was popping. But everybody was talking about, like, how do you take your skills from school counseling specifically, or just even educators, and transfer that into like your own business and consulting and this, that, and the third. So it was something that I was really interested in, because again, I wanted to expand my reach, and I knew that I couldn't do that, or I was limited in doing that at just one school site. So I, like I said, got connected, somehow found my now business coach, started my own business the summer before the school year even started. So I had my business. I just was kind of doing things on the side to prep for it. But, through the situation that I had this year, it was so rough. Like I said, one of the reasons that I left was administration. The second one, it was because I wanted to expand my reach. And three is because I wanted more time to work on my business. When I was having issues with my administrator, I was looking into, okay, can I take some type of sabbatical? Like, is there some type of paid leave or something? Like, I just wanted to take 2 or 3 months off so I could work on my business. I wanted to, get a couple of things off the ground, create content, this, that, and the third. And like I said, the situation was so stressful. I couldn't do anything but work, and I was coming home exhausted. I hated going to work. It was at that point, and I'm just like, I always told myself I would never work a job that, one, I didn't want to work, and two, that I was miserable doing. I can understand, some things are hard about school counseling in itself, but I'm just kind of like, if it's taking a toll on my mental health, then I need to go, because that's most important always. So Next for me, again, I am an education consultant and I focus on maximizing social emotional supports. See how that ties into what I was already doing as a school counselor. So, my main services is going to be providing professional development to other educators. I feel like my specialties is within decline in discipline based off of like a trauma informed lens. We had a lot of work to do my first year. And I used to say going into my school, my first year was like working at the dang on ER. And that's not to diminish the work of ER, nurses and doctors, but literally all day would be running. We would have kids flipping desks, running the hallways, trying to run outside, just a lot of trauma responses. And like I said, through trial and error throughout the years and building a school support team, we added on a behavior interventionist, we had trauma clinicians, and this, that, and the third. Like, we started to see a lot of success. Our discipline went down, and we were more proactive about, a lot of these challenges that we were having as a school community versus being proactive. And that's really the key. But like I said, I've become an education consultant so that I can spread more of that message around and really help schools get to a place where it's not, traumatic for the staff every day, traumatic for staff and students. It's one thing to be triggered as a student, but then to get escalated, by an adult that's supposed to be caring for you. So there's a lot of work to do, I don't know everything. However, I do feel like I have a lot of experience, hands-on experience with this work. So I'm really excited to jump into it. And so yeah, my page is going to shift just a little bit. It's not going to be fully school counselor focused. I want to, touch on things that are helpful for all educators. So yeah, so that's the change that you see to my page. But again, I had to go. I'm a victim. No, I'm not a victim. I chose to leave. But I think it's for the best all in all. Will I go back? I really don't know. Initially, I was like, no, I'm moving on. But again, I really love working with kids, and it only adds on to the knowledge that I will have as a consultant. So I don't know. That's not totally close to me. So thanks, comment if you are, contemplating leaving your job as well. If you've already left your job, tell me about your experience. Like this video, subscribe to my channel because there's going to be more. I definitely plan to post way more often, or way more, I can't even think of the word, y'all. It's a late night. All right, bye.